Welcome, dear listener. Take a deep breath and settle in. Tonight, we will gently journey through the human body, exploring its form and function in a calm and soothing way. In this relaxed state, we begin to understand anatomy and physiology, the study of the body's structure and how it works. Think of anatomy as the shapes and parts of you, and physiology as the gentle processes that keep you alive. There is no need to strain or memorize. Simply listen quietly as we wander through the body's inner landscape, allowing your mind to absorb these ideas as you drift toward sleep. We will move slowly and peacefully, so you can unwind and float along. Feel your body resting comfortably, and know that even now your heart is beating and your lungs are breathing in a steady rhythm. The human body carries on with its work calmly, and together we will reflect on that miracle in a soft, soothing manner. The study of the human body can be a serene journey. As we begin, imagine looking inside yourself with a gentle, curious gaze. Every part of the body has its place and purpose. The head contains the brain, the quiet command center. The chest cradles the heart and lungs, which rise and fall with each breath. The belly holds organs that digest our food slowly and steadily. From the tips of your fingers to the soles of your feet, your body is composed of many structures working together in harmony. Anatomy is the story of those structures, and physiology reveals the gentle actions that those structures perform. For example, consider your heart. Anatomically, it is a muscular chambered organ in your chest. Physiologically, it pumps blood in a steady, calming lub-dub rhythm. As you listen, you don't need to actively remember details. Instead, just allow these descriptions to wash over you like a soft wave. In this relaxed storytelling, your mind can absorb the essence of how the body is built and how it maintains the delicate balance of life. With that gentle introduction, let us step quietly into our first topic, the idea of balance within the body, known as homeostasis. Homeostasis, internal balance. Picture yourself standing by a calm lake at sunrise, the water smooth as glass. Your body strives for that same kind of calm stability on the inside. Homeostasis is the word we use for the body's ability to maintain a stable internal environment. Even as the world around you changes, the temperature, the light, the sounds, inside, your body quietly adjusts to keep conditions just right. Your temperature, for instance, stays around a warm 37 degrees Celsius 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit even on a cold night or a hot afternoon. How? The body senses any change and gently counteracts it. If you get too cold, you might shiver, tiny muscle tremors that warm you. If you get too hot, you start to sweat, cooling you as the moisture evaporates. In this way, without any conscious effort, your body continually brings itself back into balance. It's like an eternal soft lullaby within, ensuring that conditions are ideal for each cell to do its work. As you breathe slowly now, your blood's oxygen and carbon dioxide levels are being regulated automatically. If you hold your breath for a moment, carbon dioxide will quietly build up, and sensors in your body will nudge you to inhale again. This is homeostasis, a constant, quiet conversation in your body that keeps everything steady and comfortable. Homeostasis works through gentle feedback loops. Imagine a thermostat in a cozy room. When it gets a bit cool, the heat turns on. When it's warm enough, the heat eases off. Similarly, your body has many such thermostats. When your blood sugar rises after a sweet snack, your pancreas releases a calming hormone called insulin that helps bring that sugar back down to a normal level. Later, if your blood sugar falls because you haven't eaten, another hormone, glucagon, nudges it back up. All of this happens without you thinking about it, maintaining an internal equilibrium. This balance is crucial because the cells in your body are like sensitive little fish in a pond. They need just the right environment to thrive. The fluid around them must have the right temperature, the right pH, not too acidic or too alkaline, the right concentration of salts and nutrients. Through homeostasis, your body provides this perfect environment. As you lie here, every organ, your heart, lungs, kidneys, liver, is contributing in some way to that steady state. The kidneys, for example, quietly filter your blood, removing excess fluids and waste, keeping your internal water and salt levels just right. Your skin sweats or shivers to regulate temperature. Your brain releases hormones that keep your metabolism in balance. In a very real sense, your body is watching over you, keeping you safe and stable. You can let go of worries and trust this gentle balancing act happening inside. With each soft breath, know that homeostasis carries on, a guardian of your inner world. In this piece, we can move on, still cradled in the idea of balance, to explore the building blocks of the body, the tissues and the integumentary system, your skin and more. Tissues and integument, the body's fabrics and covering. Now envision the body as a house made of living materials. These materials are the tissues, groups of cells of similar kind that join together to perform common functions. Your entire body is constructed from four basic tissue types. First, epithelial tissue forms the gentle coverings and linings. It's like a protective blanket or the paint on the walls of a house, covering surfaces inside and out. Your skin, the lining of your mouth, the delicate film on your eyeballs, all are epithelial tissue. It shields and selectively lets substances in or out. As you run your fingers lightly over your arm, you're touching epithelial tissue on the surface of your skin. Second, connective tissue provides support and structure, like the sturdy framework of a house. Bones are connective tissue, hard and strong, supporting your form. Blood is also a connective tissue, a fluid one that links all parts of your body by circulating throughout. Tendons and ligaments are connective tissues too, tying muscles to bones and bones to each other, giving your body cohesion. Tendons, for example, connect muscle to bone securely, allowing force to pass from muscle to move your limbs. Third, muscle tissue is for movement. When you think of muscles, you might picture the large muscles of your arms or legs, but even the tiny fibers in your heart and the walls of your stomach are muscle tissue. Muscle cells contract, they gently shorten and pull, creating motion, whether it's the flex of an arm or the soft churning of your stomach after a meal. Finally, nervous tissue is the communication network. It's made of neurons and supporting cells, sending electrical signals like quiet whispers from one part of your body to another. This tissue forms your brain, spinal cord, and all the nerves. Together, these four tissues, epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous, weave the fabric of you. Each organ in your body is a harmonious combination of these tissues. Consider your heart. Inside it has muscle tissue to pump blood, epithelial tissue lining its chambers, connective tissue forming valves and blood vessels, and nervous tissue to regulate the heartbeat. As you continue to breathe softly, appreciate that every inch of you, from the hair on your head to the nails on your toes, is composed of these simple tissue building blocks arranged in beautiful complexity. Let's focus a moment on the integumentary system, which is primarily your skin, the largest organ of your body. Your skin is like a warm, protective blanket wrapped around you. It's the boundary between you and the outside world, and it works tirelessly to keep you safe. The skin has multiple layers, though we won't get too technical. Just imagine it as two main layers, a thin outer layer, the epidermis, which is the part you can touch, and a thicker inner layer, the dermis, beneath, which cushions and nourishes the skin. The outer epidermis is made of tightly packed cells, forming a waterproof shield. These cells gradually shed and renew, in a constant gentle turnover, so even your skin is always subtly changing, renewing itself without you noticing. The inner dermis is alive with small blood vessels, nerves, and glands. When you blush, blood flows into those tiny vessels, giving your cheeks a rosy color. When you sweat, glands in the dermis release perspiration that cools you. Right now, if you're warm under your covers, your skin might be doing just that, a bit of moisture forming to keep your temperature just right as part of homeostasis. The skin is also a sensory organ. It contains numerous nerve endings that allow you to feel a breeze, the touch of a loved one, or the softness of your bed. These sensations can be soothing, like a gentle caress. As you lie still, notice the points where your body meets the bed, the gentle pressure on your skin. Those sensations remind you that you're safe and grounded. The integumentary system also includes your hair and nails, which are extensions of the skin. Hair can insulate and protect, and nails support the sensitive tips of our fingers and toes. All of these components grow slowly and quietly. Perhaps you can recall the feeling of running your fingers through your hair or the smooth surface of a nail. These two are part of the integument's calming presence. Your skin is truly remarkable. It protects against injury, It keeps out invading germs, it prevents dehydration by holding in fluids, and it even makes vitamin D when sunshine falls upon it. As you relax, your skin is healing tiny scratches, producing new cells, and serving as a barrier to the world. Thank your skin for wrapping you in a soft, living coat. In this comfortable state, let's delve deeper now, down to the level of cells and the quiet electrical activity that underlies how nerves and muscles function, the concept of membrane potentials. Membrane potentials, the quiet electrical charge of cells. Imagine for a moment that each cell in your body carries a tiny battery-like charge. This is essentially true for nerve cells and muscle cells. We call this the membrane potential, which is the slight difference in electrical charge between the inside and outside of a cell. When a cell is at rest, it maintains a small voltage across its membrane. The inside of the cell is a bit more negative compared to the outside. It's a very gentle voltage, only a fraction of a household battery's strength, but it is vital for life. Think of it as the cell's quiet potential for action, like a calm lake storing energy before a wave. For most excitable cells, like neurons in your brain or muscle fibers in your heart, the resting membrane potential is around -70 millivolts, a number not important to memorize, just a whisper of electricity. What maintains this charge difference? The cell's membrane is a delicate barrier that selectively lets ions, tiny charged particles like sodium and potassium, move in and out. Proteins in the cell membrane act as gates or pumps, controlling these movements. At rest, the cell keeps more positively charged ions outside and more negative charges inside, thus a small negative charge inside. It's as if the cell is holding its breath, poised and ready but quiet. When the cell is stimulated, say, a nerve cell receiving a signal, this electrical balance momentarily shifts. Picture a peaceful pond where someone drops a pebble, ripples spread across the water. Similarly, when a neuron is stimulated, a rapid change occurs, positive ions rush into the cell, making the inside suddenly less negative. We call this depolarization. In an instant, the cell's interior goes from negative to positive compared to the outside. This change zips along the cell's membrane like a wave. We term this wave an action potential, essentially an electrical impulse. It's the language of the nervous system. In a neuron, this impulse travels down the length of the cell, for example, along a nerve fiber in your arm, carrying a message. In a muscle cell, the impulse triggers the muscle to contract. It all starts with that quiet membrane potential being disturbed. The momentary influx of sodium ions, a kind of salt ion, into the cell is like opening a floodgate briefly. Then just as quickly, other ions, like potassium, flow out to restore the original balance, and the cell goes back to its resting, negative inside state. This whole sequence happens in milliseconds, a blink of an eye, and it can repeat over and over. Even as you rest, these little electrical events are occurring in your nerves, perhaps a few in the nerves of your arm as you adjust your blanket, or in the neurons of your brain as you form mental images from these words. It's all very gentle and automatic. Individual cells are so small that these electric signals are faint, you cannot feel them directly. But collectively, they are the essence of thought, sensation, and movement. Let's consider how this works in the context of a thought or a command to move. Say you decide to roll over or adjust your pillow. First, neurons in your brain generate action potentials, tiny surges of electricity, which travel down pathways in the brain. When these signals reach neurons that connect to your spinal cord and nerves, they send similar impulses down the nerves of your arm or torso. When those nerve impulses arrive at your muscle cells, they spark a change there too, causing the muscles to contract and move your body. All of that begins from the shift of a membrane potential in a single cell, and then a cascade of many cells passing along the message. It's like a gentle wave starting in one place and rippling outward. The amazing part is how orderly and regulated it is. There are ion channels, tiny protein doorways, that open and close at just the right times to let ions in or out, creating these electrical changes in a controlled way. And after an action potential passes, the cell resets, often using a little pump that moves sodium back out and potassium back in, ensuring it's ready for the next signal. During this brief recovery period, the cell cannot fire again immediately, this is called a refractory period, ensuring that each impulse is a separate message and flows forward along the neuron, not backward. The result is a one-way, discrete transmission of information. As you drift in bed, countless cells in your brain and body maintain their membrane potentials, some of them occasionally firing an action potential if needed. Yet overall, you feel calm and still. Your body's electrical language carries on quietly, without disturbing your rest. This gentle buzz of life at the cellular level is always there, a soft electrical humming of being alive. Now that we've sensed this subtle energy in our nerves and muscles, we can explore how signals jump from one cell to the next, in the process of neurotransmission. Neurotransmission, how nerves communicate. When a nerve impulse reaches the end of one neuron, how does it speak to the next neuron in line? Neurons do not touch end to end, there is a tiny gap between them, like a narrow cleft. The process of passing the signal across this gap is called neurotransmission, and it's both electrical and chemical, a wonderfully choreographed whisper between cells. Let's imagine one neuron ending and the next beginning across a synaptic gap. As the electrical impulse, action potential, arrives at the end of the first neuron, it triggers the release of special messenger molecules called neurotransmitters. These molecules are stored in tiny sacs at the neuron's end, and when the impulse comes, the sacs merge with the cell membrane and release their neurotransmitters into the gap, which is called the synaptic cleft. The neurotransmitters diffuse across this microscopic space, it's only a few millionths of a centimeter wide, and then they bind gently to receptors on the neighboring neuron. Think of neurotransmitters as keys, and the receptors as locks. When the key fits, it opens the lock, causing ion channels on the next cell to open. That initiates a new electrical impulse in the second neuron. In this way, the message continues on. It's as if one cell softly says, "Pass it on," using a chemical language, and the next cell responds with a new electrical signal. There are many types of neurotransmitters, each with its own character. Some are excitatory, encouraging the next cell to fire its impulse. Others are inhibitory, telling the next cell to stay quiet, which is also important for balance. A well-known neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, which, for example, a motor neuron uses to stimulate a muscle cell to contract. Others include dopamine, which is involved in pleasure and movement, serotonin, which helps regulate mood and sleep, and GABA, which calms down activity in the brain. In fact, as you prepare for sleep, your brain likely increases the influence of inhibitory signals like GABA to quiet your neural circuits, helping you drift off. Some neurotransmitters even travel throughout the brain, affecting general arousal. For instance, histamine in the brain helps keep you awake, which is why antihistamine medicines can make you drowsy. Another neurotransmitter, oxytocin, has a gentle reputation as the love or bonding molecule. It also causes uterine contractions and milk release in nursing mothers. Each plays a unique role. The beautiful part is that all this chemistry happens in the background. At this moment, neurons in your brain are exchanging neurotransmitters at their synapses, perhaps in areas that regulate relaxation and sleep. One neuron might be telling the next, "It's time to rest," by releasing calming neurotransmitters that reduce anxiety and promote tranquility. After a neurotransmitter has delivered its message, the body has ways to clear the synapse, ensuring the signal is brief and precise. Some neurotransmitters are broken down by enzymes. For example, an enzyme called acetylcholinesterase quickly breaks down acetylcholine in the synapse after it has done its job. Other neurotransmitters are taken back up into the sending neuron, a process called reuptake, to be reused later. This cleanup allows the synapse to be ready for the next whisper of communication. In the silence of your current environment, you can imagine countless tiny flashes of communication happening in your brain and nerves, all orchestrated perfectly. This ensures that signals like "slow the heart rate" or "relax that muscle" or "we are safe now" are delivered and then gently hushed, keeping everything in balance. You might picture fireflies blinking on and off in a summer field, each blink a signal that appears and fades. Neurotransmission is a bit like that, in microscopic form. As we leave this topic, know that your ability to think, to feel, to move, indeed to fall asleep, is all mediated by this graceful dance of neurotransmitters and electrical impulses bridging cell to cell. With that understanding, let's step back to see the bigger picture of the nervous system as a whole, the central and peripheral nervous systems and how they work together to keep you functioning and responsive to the world. Central and peripheral nervous system, whole body nerve network. Your nervous system is like an enormous, branching tree of life within you. At its core is the central nervous system, CNS, consisting of the brain and the spinal cord. This is the command center, the brain being the control room where decisions, thoughts, and interpretations happen, and the spinal cord acting as a main highway carrying information to and from the brain. If you imagine the nervous system as a tree, the CNS is the sturdy trunk. Emanating from this trunk is the peripheral nervous system, PNS, all the nerves that extend throughout your body, like branches reaching into every extremity. These peripheral nerves connect the CNS to every muscle, organ, and tissue, relaying messages back and forth. The PNS includes sensory receptors as well, tiny nerve endings that gather information from the environment or from inside your body and send those signals inward to the spinal cord and brain. As you lie there, perhaps you feel the gentle touch of a blanket, that is a sensory signal traveling through peripheral nerves to your spinal cord and up to your brain, where it's registered as a sensation. Or maybe you hear a distant soft sound, receptors in your ear's cochlea, which we'll discuss soon, send an electrical impulse through the auditory nerve, a part of the PNS, carrying the information to your brainstem and then to auditory parts of your brain for you to perceive the sound. The central and peripheral systems work in unison, constantly. The brain issues commands via the spinal cord to peripheral nerves, and the periphery sends feedback and sensory data to the central command. It's a beautiful two-way communication path, mostly unconscious. The only thing asked of you is to relax and let it happen, which it does naturally. The peripheral nervous system itself has two functional divisions. One division is the sensory, afferent, division, the nerves that carry signals to the CNS. These bring in information about touch, pain, temperature, sight, sound, and also internal senses like joint position or blood pressure. The other division is the motor, efferent, division, the nerves that carry commands from the CNS out to muscles and glands. When you decide to wiggle your toes, the motor division carries that signal from brain to toe muscles. Within the motor division, there are two parts, the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system controls voluntary movements, things under conscious control. This is how you raise your hand, speak, or dance. The nerves go to your skeletal muscles, the muscles attach to bones, and cause them to contract or relax as needed. For instance, each deliberate breath you take involves somatic motor signals to your diaphragm and rib muscles. On the other hand, the autonomic nervous system regulates involuntary functions, the things that happen without conscious thought. This system controls cardiac muscle, smooth muscle, found in places like your digestive tract and blood vessel walls and glands. It's constantly active, adjusting the function of your internal organs. Within the autonomic system, there are again two main branches, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems. These two act like yin and yang, balancing each other to maintain harmony. The sympathetic nervous system is often described as the fight or flight system. It readies the body for action. When you face a stressor or even a mild excitement, the sympathetic nerves fire up. Your heart rate increases, your breathing becomes quicker, and blood rushes to your muscles. It's as if your body is saying, "I'm ready for anything." Even lying in bed, your sympathetic system maintains a baseline level of activity, keeping your heart beating just enough and your blood pressure maintained. If there were a sudden need, imagine a loud alarm sounding, the sympathetic system would jump into higher gear immediately. Conversely, the parasympathetic nervous system is the rest and digest system. It soothes and conserves energy. Under parasympathetic influence, your heart rate slows, breathing is gentle, and digestion is active and unhurried. Right now, as you relax, your parasympathetic system is likely dominant, your heart beats slow and steady, your stomach and intestines calmly digest any food, and your pupils might be comfortably constricted in the low light. The parasympathetic system is like a peaceful gardener tending to internal processes, ensuring that healing, nourishment, and relaxation happen. Both sympathetic and parasympathetic nerves extend from the CNS, mostly from the spinal cord and brainstem, to organs throughout the body. They often have opposite effects on the same organ. For example, sympathetic nerves make the heart beat faster and stronger, while parasympathetic nerves, specifically the vagus nerve, slow it down. Sympathetic stimulation can inhibit digestion, since you don't need to digest food in an emergency, whereas parasympathetic stimulation promotes digestion. It's reassuring to know that your body has this inbuilt seesaw, one side to energize, one side to calm. They keep each other in check and keep you in balance. As you exhale slowly, you might even intentionally tap into your parasympathetic system. Slow breathing is known to enhance parasympathetic activity, which further relaxes you. Finally, a word about the spinal cord, part of the central nervous system but closely tied with the peripheral system. The spinal cord runs down the center of your spine, protected by the bony vertebrae. It is a thick bundle of nerve fibers that carry signals between your brain and body. But the spinal cord isn't just a message cable, it also handles certain quick responses called reflexes. For example, if you accidentally touch a hot stove, you'll pull your hand away before you even fully feel the pain. That's a reflex arc. Sensory nerves in your hand shouted hot to the spinal cord, and the spinal cord immediately sent back a motor command to your arm muscles saying withdraw. All without needing the brain's input for that split-second action. Only afterward does the signal reach the brain and you become aware of what happened. These reflexes are protective and fast. Consider the familiar knee-jerk reflex. When a doctor lightly taps just below your knee, it stretches the tendon and the quadriceps muscle briefly. Sensors in that muscle send a message to your spinal cord, and the cord responds by telling the quadriceps to contract, causing your lower leg to kick out slightly. It's an automatic response, and it indicates that the circuitry between muscle and spinal cord is healthy. Such reflex tests are done in checkups for that reason. In your relaxed state, many reflexes are quiet and less triggered, but they are always there, ready to protect you. Even during sleep, if something sharply threatens, like if you were to roll onto a sharp object, a reflex could make you move before you're fully awake. The integration of central and peripheral systems ensures you react appropriately to the world, often without having to think about it. And when you do want to think or act voluntarily, that same network dutifully carries out your intentions. Truly, your nervous system, central and peripheral, is a marvelous guardian and facilitator for your every experience. Feeling grateful for this, we can now gently move our focus to the central organ of the CNS, the brain, and its close helpers, the cranial nerves that extend from it. Brain and cranial nerves, control center and its messengers. Your brain is the command center of your body, but it is also a sanctuary of calm in this moment. Envision your brain nestled safely inside your skull, soft and intricate. It is protected by three gentle membranes collectively known as the meninges, which wrap the brain in layers of delicate tissue. Between these layers flows a clear fluid, the cerebrospinal fluid, cushioning the brain so it virtually floats in a protective bath. This fluid also circulates nutrients and removes waste, a quiet housekeeping that continues even as you sleep. The meninges and fluid together ensure that your brain, the consistency of a soft pudding, is shielded from jolts and nourished continuously. Knowing that your brain is so well cared for, you can feel secure and at ease. The brain itself has different regions, each with specific roles, yet all working in harmony. The largest part is the cerebrum, which is divided into two halves, left and right hemispheres. The surface of the cerebrum is the cerebral cortex, a layer of gray matter with many folds and grooves. Each fold, gyrus, and groove, sulcus, increases the area, allowing billions of neurons to reside there. Different lobes of the cerebrum take on different functions. For example, the frontal lobes, right behind your forehead, are involved in thinking, planning, and voluntary movements. They also house Broca's area, a speech center, typically on the left side, which allows us to form words. The parietal lobes, near the top of your head, process touch sensations and help you understand spatial orientation, knowing where your body is in space. The temporal lobes, by your ears, handle hearing and also are key to memory and language comprehension. Wernicke's area for understanding speech lies here. The occipital lobes, at the back of your head, are devoted to vision. They construct the images we see from the raw signals the eyes send. Even as your eyes are closed now, your occipital lobes may conjure up gentle dream imagery or replay subtle patterns of light and dark. Deep within the cerebrum lie other important structures, like the hippocampus, central to forming new memories, and the amygdala, involved in emotions and fear responses. But in this restful moment, imagine these deep structures as calm and quiet, like a still forest at night, no fear or stress, just tranquility and the capacity for pleasant dreams and memory consolidation. Below the cerebrum at the back of the head is the cerebellum, a smaller wrinkled structure that looks a bit like a little brain of its own. The cerebellum's job is to coordinate movement and balance. When you walk, reach, or even when you speak clearly, your cerebellum fine-tunes the motions, ensuring they are smooth and precise. If you were to stand on one foot, the cerebellum would help you stay balanced. Right now, as you remain still, the cerebellum is relatively quiet, perhaps making micro-adjustments to keep you comfortable. It's also involved in motor learning, like learning to play piano or ride a bicycle, but those tasks can rest for the night. At the base of the brain, connecting to the spinal cord, is the brainstem. This humble, stalk-like region is crucial for basic life functions. It consists of the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. The brainstem controls things like your heartbeat, breathing rate, blood pressure, and reflexes like swallowing, all without conscious thought. As you breathe slowly and steadily, it is the brainstem that is setting that rhythm, monitoring carbon dioxide in your blood and deciding when to trigger the next breath. The brainstem also houses the reticular activating system, which helps regulate sleep and wakefulness. Right now, that system is likely gently transitioning you towards a sleepy state, lowering alertness and easing you into relaxation. The pons part of the brainstem even plays a role in dreaming and REM sleep. So as you drift off, your brainstem will guide you into the various sleep stages, all the while keeping your vital functions going strong. You can trust this smallest, oldest part of the brain to keep watch over your night. Now, emerging from the brain, mostly from the brainstem, are 12 pairs of cranial nerves. These are nerves that exit the skull and mostly serve the head and neck region, carrying signals to and from the brain. Each cranial nerve has a name and a number. You don't need to remember them all, just know that they are like the brain's special messengers to the head and beyond. For example, the olfactory nerves, cranial nerve I, carry the sense of smell from your nose to your brain. If you recall the scent of a flower or the pages of a book, that's olfactory signals at work. The optic nerves, too, carry visual information from your eyes to the brain. Even though your eyes are likely closed now, those nerves are what would transmit light signals when your eyes are open, allowing you to see the morning light when it comes. The oculomotor, trochlear, and abducens nerves, 3, 4, 6, control the gentle movements of your eyes. When you were reading earlier or when you scan a room, these nerves coordinate so your eyes move smoothly together. Perhaps as you dream, these nerves will produce the rapid eye movements of REM sleep beneath your eyelids. The trigeminal nerve, V, carries sensations from your face to the brain and also controls chewing muscles. It's active when you feel a soft pillow on your cheek or when you bite food. The facial nerve, 7, controls most of your facial expressions and also helps with taste on the front of your tongue. A slight smile in your sleep or a frown comes from signals in the facial nerve activating tiny facial muscles. The vestibulocochlear nerve, 8, is actually 2 nerves in one, carrying sound, cochlear part, and balance, vestibular part, information from the inner ear to the brain. Thanks to this nerve, you can hear my voice, through the wonder of imagination or audio, and you also maintain balance. The glossopharyngeal, 9, and vagus, X, nerves both serve the throat and also carry some taste and organ sensations. The vagus nerve in particular is a major player in the parasympathetic system. It wanders, as its name implies, from the brainstem through the neck into the chest and abdomen, innervating the heart, lungs, and digestive tract. It's largely responsible for slowing your heart rate and stimulating digestion during rest. As you relax, the vagus nerve is at work, promoting a state of calm and equilibrium. The accessory nerve, 11, controls some neck and shoulder muscles, and the hypoglossal nerve, 12, controls the tongue movements. All these cranial nerves operate mostly without conscious effort. Even now, signals in the vagus nerve keep your heart unhurried, signals in your glossopharyngeal and hypoglossal nerves might unconsciously adjust your swallowing so you don't accumulate saliva. The trigeminal nerve might trigger a reflex if something tickles your face, causing you to brush it off even in your sleep. They form a complex, efficient network that manages the head sensory input and muscle control. The cranial nerves can be thought of as extension of the brain's will and senses to the immediate environment of your head. They allow you to taste, smell, see, hear, and maintain balance, as well as smile or frown. Isn't it comforting to know that such intricate systems are quietly in place, letting you experience the world when you're awake and protecting you when you're not? With your brain and cranial nerves gently introduced, let's shift our attention to two very special sensory organs connected to that system, the eyes and the ears, gateways for light and sound. Sensory systems, eye and ear, vision and hearing in a soothing light. Let's begin with the eyes, often called the windows to the soul. Even though your eyes are closed and resting, we can imagine their structure and appreciate their function in a soft, dreamy way. Each eye is a delicate, round globe set into the protective orbit of your skull. The front of the eye has the cornea, a clear curved surface that begins focusing the light that enters. Just behind the cornea is the iris, the colored part of your eye, perhaps brown, blue, green, or hazel. The iris is like a gentle curtain that can widen or narrow the opening at its center, the pupil. In bright light, the iris contracts to make the pupil small, limiting light entry, and in dim light, it relaxes to widen the pupil, allowing more light in. It's akin to a camera aperture adjusting to ambient light, but all automatic and smooth. If you ever watch someone's pupils in changing light, it's a slow, graceful motion. In a darkened room, your pupils enlarge, which is likely the case now, though you cannot see it, to make the most of any faint light. Behind the iris is the lens, a flexible, clear structure that fine-tunes focus. Tiny muscles, the ciliary muscles, adjust the shape of the lens, rounding it up to focus on something close, or flattening it to focus on something far. When you read a book up close, those muscles engage. When you gaze at the stars, they relax. This happens without you even thinking about it. Light that enters the eye is focused by the cornea and lens onto the back wall of the eye, an inner layer called the retina. The retina is truly magical. It contains the cells that sense light and begin the process of vision. There are two main types of light-sensing cells, called photoreceptors, rods and cones. The cone cells are in charge of color vision and sharp detail, but they need brighter light to work. They operate in daylight or a well-lit room. When you admire a vibrant sunset, it's the cones that let you see the reds and oranges. The rod cells, on the other hand, are more sensitive to low light. They allow you to see in dim conditions, albeit in black and white and without fine detail. At night or in a dark room, it's the rods that are active, giving you a moonlit silhouette view of the world. You have many more rods than cones, roughly 20 times more, which is why humans can see fairly well at night, though without color. As you relax in near darkness, your rods might be gently active, adjusting your eyes to the low light, whereas your cones are mostly resting until morning. The retina converts light into tiny electrical signals through a chemical change in those photoreceptor cells when they catch photons of light. These signals then pass through a network of interneurons in the retina, bipolar cells and amacrine cells, which refine the signal, and finally to retinal ganglion cells. The axons, long fibers, of the retinal ganglion cells all converge at the back of the eye to form the optic nerve. This nerve carries the visual information to the brain at the speed of thought. Interestingly, where the optic nerve exits the eye, the optic disc, there are no photoreceptors. It creates a natural blind spot. You don't notice it in daily life because your brain cleverly fills in the gaps and because your other eye covers for it. The optic nerves from each eye meet and partially cross at a place under the brain called the optic chiasm, ensuring that information from the right visual field goes to the left brain and vice versa. From there, visual signals are sent to the thalamus and then to the occipital lobes at the back of your brain, where you consciously perceive an image. It's a long journey from the light entering your eyes to the image forming in your mind, but it happens instantaneously and continuously while you are awake. In this gentle moment, think of all the soothing sights your eyes can enjoy: soft starlight, the glow of moon through a window, the comforting dim shapes in a familiar room. Even with eyes closed, perhaps faint light filters through your eyelids as a warm reddish glow. Your eyes are resting now, the focusing muscles relaxed, the lids drawn. The moisture from tears keeps the cornea nourished and clear. Tiny glands produce oils to lubricate the eye, and even now, your eyes might do a slow rolling movement under the lids as they settle. The next time you open them, all these structures will coordinate effortlessly to bring the world into focus for you. It's remarkable and yet so taken for granted. Allow yourself to appreciate the gift of vision and then let your eyes remain softly closed, fully at ease. Now, let's turn our attention to the ears, which provide the gift of hearing and also help with balance. Your ears have a visible part on the outside, the pinna, which catches sound waves like a funnel directing them inward. Sound is vibration in the air, and these vibrations enter your ear canals and hit the tympanic membrane, commonly known as the eardrum. The eardrum is a delicate, tightly stretched membrane that vibrates with the sound. Imagine a gentle drum being tapped by invisible fingers of air. That's your eardrum responding to sounds, whether it's soft music, the whisper of wind, or in this case, perhaps the quiet hush of nighttime. On the other side of the eardrum, in the middle ear, there are three tiny bones known as the ossicles. Their individual names are the malleus, incus, and stapes, or hammer, anvil, and stirrup, due to their shapes. These are the smallest bones in your body, and they form a little chain. When the eardrum vibrates, it moves the first bone, malleus, which knocks into the second, incus, which then pushes the third, stapes. This chain amplifies the sound vibrations and conveys them to the inner ear. The stapes connects to an opening of the inner ear called the oval window. At the oval window, the mechanical movement of the stapes creates waves in the fluid of the inner ear. The inner ear is a wondrous, spiral-shaped chamber called the cochlea, which in Latin means snail shell, reflecting its coiled shape. Inside the cochlea is a fluid and a sensitive membrane lined with tiny hair cells. When the fluid vibrates from the ossicles' input, it causes these hair cells to sway. Think of underwater plants waving in response to currents. Similarly, hair cells in the cochlea bend with the fluid waves. When they bend, these hair cells generate nerve impulses. They transduce the mechanical energy of the wave into electrical signals that the brain can understand. High-pitched sounds cause waves that affect one part of the cochlea, low-pitched sounds affect another. So the cochlea performs a sort of sound analysis, separating frequencies. These auditory signals travel via the vestibulocochlear nerve, the cochlear portion, specifically, to the brainstem, and then to the auditory cortex in the temporal lobes of the brain, where we perceive them as distinct sounds. Right now, if all is quiet, your cochlear hair cells are gently idle, or perhaps responding only to very soft ambient noises, maybe the distant hum of a heater or the soft rustle of your bedding. In the calm of night, the auditory system can rest. But it's never completely off. Even in sleep, a sufficiently loud or important sound, like an alarm or a baby's cry, will be picked up by the ear and can alert the brain. It's comforting to know that your ears stand guard in the silence, just in case they're needed. The inner ear has another important part, the vestibular system, which is responsible for balance. This system consists of the semicircular canals and the otolith organs, utricle and saccule. The semicircular canals are three loop tubes positioned at roughly right angles to each other, corresponding to the three dimensions of space, one for nodding yes, one for shaking no, and one for tilting side to side. These canals are also filled with fluid and have hair cells, similar to the cochlea but tuned to detect head rotation. When you move your head, the fluid in these loops lags a bit, due to inertia, and bends the hair cells, informing your brain about the direction and speed of the rotation. The utricle and saccule have tiny crystals that move with gravity and acceleration, helping you sense if you're moving in a straight line or tilting. Together, the vestibular apparatus sends signals through the vestibular part of the vestibulocochlear nerve, CN8, to your brainstem and cerebellum about the orientation of your head and body. This is how you maintain balance and a steady gaze when you move. If you turn over in bed, your vestibular system immediately informs your brain so you don't feel disoriented. You still have a sense of up and down even in the dark with eyes closed. When you're still, as you likely are now, the vestibular system is also calm, telling your brain that you're lying in a stable position. It's part of why you feel secure and not like you're falling while lying down. Your inner ear balance sensors confirm that you are supported and steady. With eyes and ears, you experience so much of the world, yet in this moment you can let them rest. The eyes are closed to light, enjoying darkness, and the ears are only hearing perhaps the quietest of sounds. Some people find that focusing on a soft sound, like the whir of a fan or gentle rainfall, can lull them to sleep. This is because the brain can find a repetitive, non-threatening sound soothing, and it helps block out sudden noises. If you have such a sound, your auditory system will adapt to it and treat it as background, allowing sleep to come. As we leave the senses, take comfort that your sensory systems will still be working for you through the night at a low level, ensuring your brain can be alerted if needed while you rest. Your brain and nerves will process sensory information even in sleep, mostly ignoring the unimportant and alerting you only if necessary. Safe in this knowledge, let's move on from the head to the spine once more, considering the spinal cord and the simple yet crucial reflexes that keep you safe, before we explore the supportive world of muscles and bones. Spinal cord and reflexes, the highway of nerves and instant responses. Envision your spinal cord as a graceful, glistening rope of nervous tissue running through the tunnel of your spine. It starts at the base of the brain and continues down to your lower back, tapering off around the first or second lumbar vertebra. The spinal cord is only about as thick as your little finger, yet it carries an immense amount of information. From it branch 31 pairs of spinal nerves, which exit between the vertebrae to reach different parts of your body. These spinal nerves are part of the peripheral system, connecting your limbs and torso back to the spinal cord. Right now, signals are traveling through some of these nerves, for instance, sensory signals from your back and limbs telling the spinal cord that you're lying in a comfortable position, or tiny adjustments in muscle tension being coordinated. But much of the spinal cord's heavy work is done when you're active. It's the main pathway that the brain uses to send commands to your trunk and limbs, and for the limbs to send sensory information back. The arrangement inside the cord is such that sensory input, like touch or temperature, enters through the dorsal, back, side of the cord, and motor output, commands to muscles, exits through the ventral, front, side. This elegant wiring ensures the signals stay organized. One of the spinal cord's remarkable abilities is to orchestrate reflexes, automatic, rapid responses that occur without needing to consult the brain. We touched on the knee-jerk reflex, let's explore that a bit more. If the doctor taps the patella tendon below your kneecap, the sudden stretch is sensed by receptors in the quadriceps muscle at the front of your thigh. Those receptors send an impulse through a sensory neuron straight into the spinal cord. In the cord, that neuron directly connects, through a single synapse, to a motor neuron that goes right back to the quadriceps muscle, telling it to contract. And so, your leg kicks out. The loop is so short and direct, from muscle to cord and back to muscle, that it happens in a fraction of a second. You don't will it, it just occurs. It's the spinal cord taking care of business on its own. Only afterward does a signal travel up to your brain, letting you know your leg moved. Such reflexes are protective. Another example, the withdrawal reflex. Step on something sharp or touch something hot, and pain receptors send a message to the spinal cord, which immediately sends back commands to the relevant muscles to pull away, lift your foot, withdraw your hand, before you even fully feel the pain. This can prevent injury or minimize it, since waiting for the brain to process the pain would take slightly longer. We have many reflexes, some help us stand upright, stretch reflexes in our postural muscles, some help coordinate our two sides, like when you step on a tack with one foot, reflexes not only lift that foot but also stiffen the other leg to support you. These are built-in safety and stability features of our nervous system. During sleep and relaxation, our reflexes are still intact but our overall muscle tone might be reduced, especially in deep sleep, muscles become very relaxed. Yet if an abrupt stimulus were to occur, a reflex could still make you flinch or adjust even if you're not fully awake. This shows how the spinal cord is always on duty, even giving the brain a rest in handling routine responses. It's reassuring, think of the spinal cord as a loyal deputy to the brain, handling immediate issues so the brain can focus on other tasks, or in sleep, on resting and dreaming. The spinal cord itself is protected by vertebrae, the bones of the spine, and also by meninges and cerebrospinal fluid, just like the brain. It's quite hardy, but also sensitive, which is why injuring the spinal cord can be serious. But in everyday life, the cord carries on, conveying the signals that allow you to feel a comforting touch or to perform a smooth movement. Now, as you lie quietly, imagine a gentle current flowing up and down your spine, not a real current, but a symbolic one, representing the flow of neural information. Upwards to the brain come reports, the coolness or warmth of the air on your skin, the position of your limbs, proprioceptive signals telling your brain how you're positioned, maybe the flutter of your heartbeat or a bit of indigestion that the brain modulates. Downwards from the brain come subtle commands, adjust heart rate, maybe shift position for comfort, or minor twitches as you settle. It's a two-way street of communication. The spine truly connects the mind with the body. With a sense of gratitude for this central highway of nerves and the quick reflex guardians it contains, we can move outward now into the realm of movement and support, the world of muscles and the skeleton, which allow us to move through and interact with our environment, and even to speak and breathe. Even though you are still now, it was your musculoskeletal system that brought you to bed and that will carry you through tomorrow. Let's explore it in a peaceful way. Musculoskeletal anatomy and function, bones and muscles working together. Your body's form and the ability to move come from the partnership of the skeletal system, your bones and joints, and the muscular system, your muscles and tendons. Together, they create a living framework, a scaffold that supports you and a set of pulleys that move you. First, picture your bones. Far from being dry or inanimate, bones are living tissues that are strong yet not too heavy. They are made of a hard outer layer and a lighter, spongy inner layer that often contains bone marrow. Bone marrow is a soft tissue that produces blood cells, so inside your bones, even now, new red blood cells are quietly being born to replace old ones. This means your bones are not just for structure, they're also vital for maintaining your blood and immunity. The skeleton has 206 bones in adulthood, ranging from the large femur in your thigh to tiny bones in your middle ear. Feel the solidity of your skull or the length of your thigh bone supporting you when you stand. That strength is what protects your brain and allows you to walk upright. Bones also guard organs. Your ribcage forms a safe enclosure for your heart and lungs, and your vertebrae shield the delicate spinal cord we spoke of. Despite their rigidity, bones do slightly bend under pressure and can repair themselves when fractured. They're composed partly of minerals, like calcium and phosphate giving hardness, and partly of collagen, a protein giving a bit of flexibility. This combination makes them resilient. Your body cleverly maintains calcium balance with the help of hormones. For instance, if calcium in your blood dips, the parathyroid glands release parathyroid hormone to encourage bones to release some calcium into the blood. Conversely, if there's excess calcium, the thyroid gland releases calcitonin to promote calcium storage back into bone. This way, your bones act like a bank for calcium, essential for many bodily functions, like nerve impulses and muscle contractions, while hormones ensure the balance is kept. You don't feel any of this happening, but it's another aspect of homeostasis, the cooperation between the endocrine system and the skeleton to keep you stable. Now consider the joints, the places where bones meet. Joints allow movement, and they come in several types. Some, like the sutures in your skull, are fixed, they don't move at all, providing solid protection for the brain. Others are very mobile, like the shoulder and hip joints, which are ball and socket joints allowing a wide range of motion. You can swing your arm or leg in a circle thanks to these. Another type, the hinge joint, is exemplified by your elbow and knee, which bend in one direction, like a door hinge. There are also pivot joints, like the one at the top of your spine that lets you turn your head side to side, and gliding joints in your wrists and ankles where bones slide past each other. Each joint is stabilized by ligaments, strong bands of connective tissue that connect bones to bones. Inside many joints is a smooth cartilage surface and a bit of fluid, synovial fluid, that together act like oil in an engine, reducing friction so bones can glide smoothly. As you gently flex or adjust your legs and arms in bed, your joints quietly comply, synovial fluid ensuring silent, pain-free motion. Over the years, joints can wear down or stiffen, but regular gentle movement, even stretching in bed or walking daily, keeps them healthier by circulating fluid and nutrients. Where bones provide the structure, muscles provide the force. When you want to move, whether it's rolling over, smiling, or climbing stairs, your brain sends a signal through nerves to specific muscle fibers, telling them to contract. Muscles can only pull, by contracting, they cannot push. Thus, they often work in pairs. One muscle, or group, will contract to move a bone in one direction, and an opposing muscle will contract to move it back. For instance, your biceps on the front of your upper arm bends your elbow, and your triceps on the back of the arm straightens it. When one is active, the other relaxes. Right now, most of your muscles are in a state of relaxation. You might feel a slight heaviness in your limbs. That's the sensation of muscles being at ease, not contracted. If you shift position, one set of muscles will engage while another lets go, and you do this so naturally. Muscles attach to bones via tendons. Tendons are somewhat similar to ligaments in that they're tough bands of connective tissue, but tendons connect muscle to bone, whereas ligaments connect bone to bone. If you touch the back of your ankle, that firm cord you feel is the Achilles tendon, linking your calf muscles to your heel bone, enabling you to push off when you walk or point your toes. Tendons transmit the force of muscle contraction to bones, causing movement. They are made of collagen and are quite strong, but if overstressed they can strain or even tear, which we call a strain if it's muscle tendon, or a sprain if it's ligament. Rest assured, gentle day-to-day activities keep tendons healthy by encouraging blood flow and lubrication in their sheaths. Within each skeletal muscle are many muscle fibers, cells, that actually do the contracting. They contract by a beautiful microscopic mechanism, long protein filaments, actin and myosin, sliding past each other when given the signal, like pulling a rope along hand over hand. This shortens the muscle fiber and generates tension. If enough fibers in a muscle contract together, the whole muscle shortens and pulls on the bone it's attached to. For example, when you decide to stand up, your brain recruits fibers in your quadriceps, front thigh muscles, to contract, straightening your knees, while also signaling to your gluteal muscles, in your buttocks, to contract, helping extend your hips. At the same time, it relaxes opposing muscles so they don't resist the movement. All of this coordination happens in a flash. Luckily, when you're ready to rise in the morning, this will occur seamlessly. But for now, your muscles can remain mostly inactive, perhaps with just a little tension to maintain a comfortable posture. It's also worth mentioning the diaphragm, a dome-shaped sheet of muscle that sits under your lungs and separates your chest from your abdomen. This muscle is special. It's skeletal muscle, which normally means voluntary control, but we breathe without thinking about it, so it's controlled by the autonomic nervous system most of the time. As you breathe in, your diaphragm contracts and flattens downward, expanding your lungs gently. As you breathe out, it relaxes and domes up, helping push air out. You can also control it voluntarily, like taking a deep breath or blowing out candles, but in rest and sleep, it works automatically. Feel the rise and fall of your belly. That's your diaphragm at work, steadily and quietly. It's perhaps the most tirelessly active muscle in your body, cycling every few seconds, day and night, to keep you breathing. During deep sleep, it will continue to do so, under the guidance of your brainstem, ensuring your body gets oxygen. Your musculoskeletal system also includes many small muscles that often go unnoticed but contribute to stability and fine movements. For instance, small muscles along your spine help maintain posture, and tiny muscles in your hand allow delicate motions like picking up a pen. Even within your face, numerous small muscles let you express emotions, a slight smile or a frown. Right now, those facial muscles are hopefully soft and neutral, indicating your peaceful state. If you check in with yourself, you might notice tension somewhere, maybe the jaw or the forehead, and you can let that go. Often, we carry tension without realizing it. Releasing it sends a signal through your body that it's okay to rest. Bone and muscle also provide a sense of grounding. The weight of your body on the mattress, for example, is your musculoskeletal system interacting with gravity. That weight can feel comforting, like a gentle pressure that reminds you that you are here, present, and secure. When you get up and walk, your bones support you against gravity and your muscles move you through space. But in bed, you relinquish that duty. You are fully supported by your bed. Your muscles don't need to fight gravity now. They can unwind, lengthen, and recover. During sleep, muscles actually enter a state of relaxation, and in certain sleep stages, like REM sleep, they become almost completely limp, to prevent acting out dreams. This is a time when any minor repairs can occur, micro tears from the day's activities are healed, energy stores in muscle cells are replenished. Bones too, under the influence of growth hormone, which is released during deep sleep, do maintenance work, regenerating tissue and maintaining strength. Thus, the musculoskeletal system, which enables all our movement and work during the day, is now in a mode of rest and rebuild. You might even feel a slight pleasant heaviness in your limbs as you listen. That's a sign your muscles are truly relaxing. If you feel the urge to gently stretch, you can do that, like a cat arching its back, and then settle again. Stretching can release remaining tension and then muscles relax even more afterward. Your bones remain strong and steady, your joints loose and lubricated, your muscles soft and supple. With every passing minute of calm, you're giving them the gift of recovery. By morning, they will be ready to support and move you easily once more. For now, simply enjoy the sensation of not needing to hold yourself up. The bed does it for you. With the muscular and skeletal systems quietly regenerating, let's turn to the final system in our journey, the endocrine system, the body's network of glands and hormones, which often works in the background to regulate growth, metabolism, and overall balance, even as you sleep. Endocrine system overview, hormonal harmony. The endocrine system is like an invisible, gentle messaging service within your body. Instead of using nerves and electrical signals, it uses hormones, which are chemical messengers released by various glands. These hormones travel through the bloodstream to reach all parts of the body, delivering instructions and maintaining long-term balance, much like homeostasis, but on a broader scale. While the nervous system can act in split seconds, the endocrine system often works on the order of minutes, hours, or days, fine-tuning the body's internal environment and orchestrating complex processes such as growth, metabolism, reproduction, and response to stress. In the calm of night, many endocrine functions carry on quietly to prepare you for the next day. Let's start with the master gland, the pituitary gland, a small pea-sized gland at the base of your brain. The pituitary is often called the master gland because it releases hormones that regulate other endocrine glands. It's under the control of a part of the brain called the hypothalamus, which links the nervous and endocrine systems. The pituitary secretes growth hormone, important for cell repair and growth, especially released during deep sleep, thyroid-stimulating hormone, which nudges the thyroid gland to produce its hormones, ACTH, which tells the adrenal glands to produce cortisol, and reproductive hormones, like FSH and LH that affect ovaries or testes. During your sleep, if you are in a deep slow-wave sleep cycle, your pituitary might be releasing a pulse of growth hormone, aiding in the repair of tissues, muscles, bones, and more, that we mentioned earlier. It's nice to think that as you rest, your body is rejuvenating itself thanks to these hormonal signals. The thyroid gland is a butterfly-shaped gland in your neck, and it produces thyroid hormones, T3 and T4, that broadly set the metabolic pace of your body. These hormones ensure that all cells have the right level of activity, not too fast, not too slow. If thyroid hormone levels are high, everything speeds up, heart rate, temperature, calorie burning. If low, things slow down. The thyroid's activity is mainly set by signals from the pituitary, TSH hormone. Additionally, the thyroid gland releases calcitonin, a hormone that, as mentioned before, helps regulate calcium by encouraging calcium storage in bones. Opposite to that, adjacent to the thyroid are four tiny parathyroid glands, each about the size of a grain of rice, which release parathyroid hormone, PTH, that does the opposite, raising calcium levels by prompting bones to release calcium. Together, calcitonin and PTH keep calcium in balance, which is crucial for things like muscle contractions and nerve function. This dynamic happens without any conscious input. If your blood calcium dips, PTH increases. If it's too high, calcitonin increases. This likely fluctuates in small ways even at night, especially since bone remodeling, the process of bone renewal, happens continuously. Next, consider the adrenal glands, two small pyramid-shaped glands sitting atop your kidneys. The adrenals have two parts, the cortex, outer part, and medulla, inner part, each releasing different hormones. The adrenal medulla is famous for the fight or flight hormones, epinephrine, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. If you were startled awake or in danger, these hormones flood your system to increase heart rate, blood flow to muscles, and blood sugar, preparing you to act. But in a peaceful scenario, they're not actively surging, your body keeps them at baseline. The adrenal cortex produces hormones like cortisol and aldosterone, among others. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but it's also your body's natural waking up hormone. It follows a diurnal rhythm. It tends to be low at bedtime and will gradually rise toward morning, helping to gently rouse you with energy for the day. Cortisol helps maintain blood sugar and blood pressure. Right now, your cortisol is likely near its low point, which fits your relaxed, ready-to-sleep state. As morning approaches, it will climb a bit, nudging you out of sleep with a subtle boost. This is why sometimes we wake up naturally as the sky lightens, partially due to cortisol's rhythm. Aldosterone helps regulate salt and water balance, ensuring your blood pressure stays stable. These hormones work quietly, adjusting levels as needed. If you've ever noticed you might need to use the bathroom less at night, one reason is that during sleep some hormones, like antidiuretic hormone from the pituitary, increase to reduce urine production, while others like aldosterone adjust fluid retention, so you can sleep through the night without interruption. Consider also the pancreas, which is both a digestive organ and an endocrine organ. The endocrine part of the pancreas secretes insulin and glucagon, which manage blood sugar levels. After a meal, insulin helps cells take in glucose, lowering blood sugar. During fasting, like overnight, glucagon prevents blood sugar from dropping too low by signaling the liver to release stored glucose. At this moment, since you likely haven't eaten in a while, your pancreas might be releasing a tiny bit of glucagon to keep your blood sugar steady through the night. If you had a late snack, insulin might have done its job and now subsided as levels normalized. These hormones ensure that even in sleep, your brain, which needs a constant supply of glucose, gets what it needs. The balance between insulin and glucagon is another beautiful example of the body's internal harmony. And we shouldn't forget the pineal gland, which we mentioned briefly. The pineal gland, tucked deep in the brain, secretes melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate sleep-wake cycles. Melatonin levels rise in the evening when it gets dark, signaling to your body that it's time to wind down. They stay high through the night, promoting sleepiness, and then fall as morning approaches, helping you wake. The fact that you are feeling sleepy and relaxed is partly thanks to melatonin's effect. It's like nature's gentle sedative, induced by the dimming light. It synchronizes with the natural day-night cycle, circadian rhythm. If you maintain a regular bedtime routine, your melatonin release becomes very regular, and you'll notice you get sleepy around the same time each night. Right now, melatonin is likely near its peak in your blood, bathing your brain and organs in the message, "It's night, time to rest." It's wonderful to cooperate with that signal, yielding to the call of sleep. Other endocrine glands include the gonads, ovaries in women, testes in men, which secrete sex hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, that influence reproductive cycles, secondary sexual characteristics, and even behavior and mood. These hormones also have cyclic patterns. For example, testosterone often peaks in the early morning, estrogen and progesterone fluctuate on a longer cycle throughout the month for women. But at night, most of these reproductive hormones aren't at their daily peak. They often have subtle ebbs and flows that align with sleep as well. For instance, some studies suggest testosterone in males is replenished during sleep, and certain phases of sleep can affect its release. In females, proper sleep is important for hormone balance across the menstrual cycle. So by sleeping well, you are also helping maintain healthy levels of these hormones. In essence, the endocrine system is maintaining a hormonal harmony inside you. It adjusts metabolism, growth, repair, stress response, and more, all in the background. While you sleep, many hormones do critical work. Growth hormone from the pituitary repairs tissues, cortisol from adrenals ensures you'll have energy in the morning, melatonin from the pineal keeps you in a deep slumber, insulin, glucagon from the pancreas guard your blood sugar, and so on. Each hormone is like an instrument in a nocturnal orchestra, playing softly to keep your body's tune just right. You don't have to conduct this orchestra, your body's natural wisdom takes care of it. How marvelous that these tiny molecules can travel in the blood and deliver specific instructions, telling cells to divide and heal, or telling the liver to release a bit of sugar, or signaling the brain that it's dark and time to sleep. This system shows that even in apparent stillness, there is dynamic activity aimed at keeping you healthy and balanced. As you lie there, you might imagine these hormonal messengers drifting through your bloodstream like gentle currents, carrying good wishes from one organ to another, a message from the brain to the adrenals, all is calm, or from the pituitary to the thyroid, keep things steady, or from the pancreas to the liver, release a touch of glucose. It's all so synchronized. And it's all for the sake of maintaining you, this complex living organism, in optimal shape. Outro, winding down to rest. We have now softly traversed the landscape of your body's systems. From the quiet vigilance of homeostasis keeping your inner world steady, through the foundational tissues and protective skin, into the subtle electrical currents of your cells and the whispering exchanges of your nerves, we journeyed. We visited the central hub of the brain and its devoted cranial nerves, appreciated the gift of sight and hearing and the tranquility of senses at rest. We felt the supportive strength of the spine and the reflexes that guard you, then the sturdy bones and graceful muscles that carry you through life, and finally the silent wisdom of your hormones gently adjusting everything as you sleep. This has been a tour of your own inner universe, a universe that works so brilliantly and compassionately for you. As you reflect on this, perhaps you feel a sense of gratitude for your body. Even if some parts sometimes ache or don't work perfectly, in this moment you can simply acknowledge how much does go right each day and each night to keep you alive and well. Your body is your home, the home that listens and responds to your needs continuously. Now it's time to fully trust your body to take care of itself while you surrender to rest. Feel the heaviness in your limbs, the steady beating of your heart, the slow expansion of your lungs, and the ease in your mind. All is taken care of. Each system knows its job, and they all harmonize without any effort from you. You can let your thoughts float away like leaves on a quiet stream. If any linger, just observe them and let them go. You are safe, you are balanced, and you are deeply relaxed. Soon you may drift into the sweet realms of sleep. As you do, the knowledge you've absorbed will settle in your mind, quietly reinforcing what you've learned about anatomy and physiology, even if you don't recall the details consciously. In the days to come, you might find you appreciate your body a little more, perhaps remembering that there are meninges protecting your brain, or that your heart and lungs tirelessly keep you alive, or that a reflex might protect you without you asking. These thoughts can bring comfort and a sense of wonder. But for now, you don't need to actively think of anything at all. You can simply be, here and now, in a state of rest. Visualize a gentle, warm light glowing within your chest, maybe it represents your steady heartbeat or the core of your being. With each slow breath, imagine that light growing softer and spreading warmth through your body, to your shoulders, down your arms, through your torso, your legs, and into your feet, and up through your neck and face. It's a calming glow that soothes every muscle, every organ. This is you, radiating peace from the inside out. In this calm state, your body and mind are perfectly prepared for deep, restorative sleep. You have honored your body by listening about its nature, and now your body will reward you with healing rest. There is nothing else you need to do tonight. The day is done, and all necessary functions are on autopilot until morning. You can let go. Feel free to let yourself sink a little more heavily into the bed, as if the mattress were a cloud holding you up. Each exhale can carry you deeper into tranquility. Perhaps you hear the faint sound of your own breathing or heartbeat, like a soft lullaby from within. Let that be your focus if you need one, otherwise, just enjoy the quiet and the darkness behind your closed eyes. You might already notice the pull of sleep growing stronger. Give into it whenever you like. There's no rush, no agenda. Even just resting like this is beneficial. You are doing enough by simply relaxing. Sooner or later, sleep will come naturally, as it always does when we allow it. As we conclude this gentle exploration, carry with you a feeling of safety and gratitude. Your body is an amazing vessel that works hard for you, and now it has the opportunity to rejuvenate through the night. Embrace that comforting thought. You are whole and you are well. Now I will leave you to drift off in your own time. Feel the calm in your toes, in your legs, your abdomen, chest, arms, neck, and face. Your entire body is at peace. In your mind, perhaps a pleasant dream will soon sprout, or maybe just a deep, dreamless sleep, either is fine. You are enveloped in quietude and warmth. Thank you for joining me on this meditative journey through the body. May you sleep deeply and wake up refreshed, with a newfound appreciation for the remarkable being that you are. For now, simply rest. Let every last bit of tension melt away. Feel the serenity within and around you. You are drifting in a safe sea of slumber where you can heal and restore. Good night, and sweet dreams. Good night.